Okay, so welcome back to the second episode of Badass Media Production Season 5. And this episode I'm going to be looking back at Gex, the beloved character from the the PlayStation 1 era, kind of the Nintendo 64 era. He's a character from, of course, the Gex franchise who doesn't exactly get as much love compared to other PlayStation and Nintendo 64 mascots. I kind of want to do a video kind of looking back at his more 3D installments rather than, of course, the first original game in the franchise, mainly because, honestly, I didn't play the first game of the franchise. I played Gex 3D, Enter the Gecko, and of course the far superior Gex Deep Cover Gecko. So, Gex as a character, let's look at Gex as a character at first. He was an interesting character, a hybrid of quite a few kind of movie kind of stereotypes, kind of a hybrid of course, Mike Myers, Austin Powers in the kind of spy spoof series Austin Powers, and of course a bit of Jim Carrey's character in, of course, the Cable Guy, kind of a TV and movie fanatic, and a little bit of Bruce Campbell in Evil Dead. So as a character, he's an interesting mix of all three, and for the most part I enjoyed his antics. I really enjoyed his humour and his one-liners. I see why people would find it a little bit irritating when he kind of spouts out the same thing over and over again throughout one level. As a character, he's less kind of humble to the likes of Spyro the Dragon, and he's less lovable to Crash Bandicoot, because we all love how Crash Bandicoot kind of responds and communicates just with his body language. So as I said before, I haven't actually played the first Gex. I played Gex Deep Cover Gecko first, and then I went back, oddly enough, to play Gex 3D, mainly because I wanted to play more Gex. So I'm going to talk about Gex 3D first, because that came out before Deep Cover Gecko. This game was refining its kind of footing, and it found its footing in a good way, because it really did improve upon in just a year to make Deep Cover Gecko. So how was Gex 3D? I found it very enjoyable. It was played into quite the kind of cartoons that we watch every Saturday morning, and it made for some really fun kind of Looney Tunes style adventures, which was great. It played into kind of the prehistoric kind of movies as well, which was also really fun. I think two of the kind of my high points for Gex 3D in terms of level teams was, of course, the horror channel, which was really great, because it really played into ghosts and monsters and the Frankenstein monster. It really played into the haunted house kind of thing, which I really enjoyed. I mean, because I myself am a horror fanatic, and playing a platforming type game and being able to play into that horror genre is wonderful. I also really enjoyed the kind of the Kung Fu theater type levels, in which you kind of play into the kind of those 1970s kind of Bruce Lee type martial art movies, and it really played into that really well, because Gex had this amazing cool flying kick, and it really worked well, and it was really fun. It was a game that was really fun to play, had a lot of replay value, but the camera angle just wasn't perfect. Then a year later, of course, they brought upon Deep Cover Gecko, which was a massive improvement, because unlike Gex 3D, in which it had a certain amount of teams per level, this game had so many different teams. It played into its genre. It played into the strengths of what this franchise wanted to do. Like, there's so many levels that I adore in Deep Cover Gecko. From the first one, kind of the first kind of hub in which you play in this kind of Christmas style kind of level, which plays into kind of all those kind of Hallmark type Christmas movies, those Christmas movies that we beloved in the 90s and 80s and 90s, which allowed you to snowboard, which allowed you to take on an evil version of Santa Claus. It was just so much fun. Then of course there was the Mystery Channel, which was a kind of similar to what we've seen in Gex 3D with the horror channel. Had that kind of horror element, this wonderful sense of mystery. It really played into the stereotype, really played into that Sherlock Holmes type stereotype. It also had this wonderful maze in it, which was heavily inspired by The Shining. It was a great level, a really well designed level. There was also the Egyptian level, which was heavily inspired by Indiana Jones. And sure, it wasn't the most original level for Gex Deep Cover Gecko, but it was still a really fun level. There was also the wonderful pirate level, which had, of course, using cannons and taking on skeleton pirates and dressing up as a pirate, which was so much fun too. There was also the incredibly unique war channel, in which which was kind of heavily inspired by the war movies in the 70s, 80s that were big around that time. This level was great. It was really unique for like a platforming game. You're going through bunkers and you're using a tank and you're going up against live grenades. It was so much fun. It was just such a great game, Gex Deep Cover Gecko, and it really just found its footing in this third installment. It's just a shame we didn't actually get a fourth and fifth game, because I feel that Gex is a really underrated character and a really underrated franchise. And I'm just saying, if you've got a PlayStation 1, I gotta say, dust that thing off and get yourself a copy of Gex 3D and, Deep Cover Gecko. Thanks for watching, guys. Subscribe to the channel if you like what you see.